Merhaba. Today we are making Islim Kebabi. Woohoo! What do you think of my new blackboard? Don't let the word kebab deceive you, because this is not chopped or ground meat on a skewer grilled on the fire. This is totally different, and you will see it pretty soon. Islim Kebabi is a very popular dish in different regions in Turkey, but most probably it originated in the southeastern part of Turkey, in Gaziantep, the gastronomical capital of Turkey. Islim Kebabi is basically round meatballs, deep fried and then wrapped in slices of eggplant and decorated with red tomatoes, green peppers, and then baked in the oven. It is such a tasty, flavorful dish, and it looks very elegant at the end when you're serving it. So if you have, friends, guests coming over for dinner, this would be a perfect option. Let's get started. Let's have a look at our ingredients here. But for the final measurements, please always check the descriptions underneath my YouTube videos. Today, I divided the ingredients into 3 groups. So in the first group, we need ground beef. I'm using 1 pound of ground beef here. But please remember, original recipe is with ground lamb. So it's up to you to use lamb or beef, or you may even mix the two. I have some salt, pepper, red pepper, cumin. I will crack an egg in there, and breadcrumbs. I will be grating 1 onion, and I will also grate a few garlic cloves. So those are the things we need for the meatballs. The second group is we need 3 eggplants, and we will be using some tomatoes. I'm using cherry tomatoes here, and then green peppers, and you will need some toothpick. And the third group is what we need for making the sauce. Tomato paste, and I will be grating 2 tomatoes, and we will use some thyme. Oh, here it is. I was just looking for my thyme. And olive oil, of course, and we will be adding some hot water to it. Oops. So last thing, I will be adding some chopped parsley to my meatballs, but it's up to you. Some people like doing that and some don't. Let's prepare all the ingredients and meet again. I have just started working on my meatballs, and what I have here is my ground beef, and I cracked 1 egg and put 1 cup of breadcrumbs, and I chopped some parsley. This is about half a cup, and I added my spices. I have half a teaspoon of cumin, red pepper, black pepper, and some salt to season. And I also grated an onion. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't grate it. My husband grated it for me. And 1 garlic clove that's grated. And then now I will start combining everything together. I have been kneading all the ingredients together for the last couple of minutes. And I think it is almost done. You can see how homogeneously everything kind of mixed together. And one other thing that we do to make sure it's all combined well is this. Okay, well, as you see, it is all staying together, so that means this is ready. Next step will be to put a lid on this glass bowl, and then I will put it into the fridge and let it rest there for about half an hour before I start giving meatball forms to it. After letting it sit in the fridge for about half an hour, I've just started forming our meatballs. What I'm doing is just grabbing a piece and then giving it the form of a little ball. So I already have a couple of them there. And I will continue forming them all roughly in the same size. I finally finished forming my meatballs, and I have like 14 pieces of meatballs here, and I will start deep frying them in a minute. I mixed olive oil and sunflower oil. It's up to you, whatever you prefer to use for deep frying, you may use that here as well. So you can hear it actually. I have been heating my oil. So the idea is not to cook those thoroughly, but we just would like to, cook them a little bit and give them some color and some nice flavor as well. But then we will be baking them in the oven later on. Okay. I already washed our eggplants and peeled them vertically. And right now, I'm just slicing the eggplants. One thing you should be careful about when you're shopping for eggplants is try to buy the long eggplant, the elongated eggplants. And when you slice them, the thickness should be roughly about 1/4 of an inch. So once you slice your eggplants, what you will do is you will take some salt and sprinkle salt on the eggplant that you have here, and then we will add water to it. Let me just put this layer as well, and then I will be, this needs to be sliced a little bit more. Oops. Here we go. Then I will fill the pot with water. Ooh, what a mess. So I would highly recommend to put a heavy plate on top of the eggplant so they are not floating on the top of the water. And I will be slicing the one eggplant left here, and it will be adding it to the pile. And then I will soak them in this salty water for about 20 minutes. When I'm ready, I'll be back. After soaking the eggplants in salty water for about 20 minutes, I just rinse them all and dry them with a kitchen towel. So I place the slices of eggplant on a tray here, and what I will do is just brush both sides of the eggplant with olive oil before I put them into the oven. Right now I'm just heating my oven to 450 Fahrenheit, and we will bake the eggplant there for about roughly 15 minutes, I would say. And you actually see another pile of eggplant next to me, so obviously I will be using another tray to do that, because I would like to have a lot of eggplant available when I'm ready to fold them around the meatballs. So I would like to choose the good ones. That's actually the reason why I prefer having a lot of eggplant. So we're gonna brush this side with olive oil as well. And we're getting closer to the end. I've come to my favorite stage now. We will be combining everything. My meatballs are ready on one side. Here are the slices of eggplant. Tomatoes sliced into two. I'm using cherry tomatoes, but you can use whatever you have available at home. And I also chopped my green peppers, and everything is ready. So what we do is we take one slice of eggplant, put the second one on the top. So we are kind of forming a cross or a plus sign. And then we place the eggplant in the center, and then we start folding the eggplant around the meatball. Here we go. And then I will just fold it over and take a toothpick, put a cherry tomato in there, and then a green pepper, then stick it all the way in. Wow, isn't this work of art? Look at this. It is time to prepare the sauce. So what I will do is put a little bit of olive oil into this saucepan, and as soon as it warms up on the stove, I will add our chopped garlic and the grated tomatoes here. Then we will continue. So the juice of the tomato has evaporated. I'm ready to add my tomato paste. I have like almost 2 tablespoons of tomato paste here that I will be adding. And just mix everything together. And I would like to add a touch of black pepper and also salt to it, but not much salt because generally speaking, tomato paste already has some salt in it, so we don't want to make it too salty. But just to flavor our sauce, a little bit of salt. Here comes the black pepper, and I already have my boiling hot water next to me here. So I will add roughly 1 cup of hot boiling water to the pot here. All right. And I will just boil them together for a minute or so to combine them. And then I will start pouring them on top of our eggplant meatball dish. Then we will put it into the oven. Here we go. I have preheated the oven to 400 Fahrenheit, and then as soon as I put our Islim Kebabi into the oven, I will bake them in there for roughly half an hour. Our Islim Kebabi is ready. I just removed it from the oven. Can't wait to try it, but it is still very hot. While we are waiting for Islim Kebabi to cool off, since we are in Gaziantep, where this dish first originated, I would like to take you to one of the largest mosaic museums in the world, the Gaziantep Mosaic Museum. It was opened to the public in the year 2011. The mosaics here are from the Roman imperial period and are just exquisite. When you add all the mosaics together, they cover an area of 2,462 square meters, or more than half an acre. The mosaics depict mostly mythological stories. Let's have a look at those mosaic compositions. This particular one, known as the Gypsy Woman of Turkey, is on most of the travel brochures about Turkey. The details and shadows on her face and the expression and depth of her eyes is breathtaking. Today, scholars believe that this is Gaia, one of the primordial deities, the personification of earth. Next one, this one is Europa, kidnapped by the father of gods, Zeus, who disguised himself as a bull. This is Oceanus and Tethys, the god of open seas, and his consort. Here is Achilles being persuaded by Odysseus to join on the side of the Greeks in the Trojan War. Look at Eros and Psyche here. It has a geometrical outer border, then a three-dimensional transition surrounding a finely detailed floral composition, all focusing in on Eros and Psyche. I am sure you are all wondering where those gorgeous mosaics come from. Well, they all came from one ancient city named Zoikma, and it's about 35 miles east of Gaziantep. Zoyukma, meaning crossing and bridge, was right on the western edge of the famous Euphrates River. It became a Roman garrison city in 64 BCE and housed two Roman legions. This was the last stop of the Greco-Roman world before crossing over to the Persian Empire. This strategic location, its cosmopolitan culture, and the high volume of road traffic made the city prosperous as a major commercial hub as well as a military and religious center during the Roman imperial period. As a result of this, wealthy citizens here had their villas built right on this scenic river. The central courtyards, open to the sky, surrounded by columns, as well as interior room floors, were covered with the sophisticated mosaics that you just saw. The mosaics have a very interesting excavation story. There were already archaeologists working in Zoyukma in early 1990s. But in the year 2000, the Turkish government decided to build the Birecik Dam right on the Euphrates River. So because of the dam, the water level of the Euphrates River here was rising about 4 inches per day, slowly covering the remains of ancient city of Zoyukma. Publicity of this inundation prompted both private and governmental support to begin the rescue excavations as soon as possible. Turkish and international volunteer archaeologists and restorers descended on the site. They excavated and removed more than half an acre of mosaics to safe storage in less than 90 days. And the result of this is the current museum in Gaziantep. It has cooled off. I'm ready to try it. I just removed all the toothpicks. And tonight, by the way, we are having this with traditional Turkish rice. So I already showed that in one of my previous videos. And, smells so good. Wow. I love it. It is so good. Try it, everyone. Thank you. Thanks for watching.